Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men, Real Style. Today I'm going to be talking about menswear terminology, the difference between bespoke, made to measure, and ready to wear. Okay, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos will come right to you. And if you like this, I would appreciate it if you would click on the like below and make sure to grab our free 47-page ebook, which you can grab right down there. Okay, let me jump right into it. This is a question that comes up. As a custom clothier, it's something that I've heard many times. Occasionally I get emails and people will ask me, are you bespoke or are you made to measure, or do you have anything ready to wear? So what are these terms and what do they mean? Well, maybe I should just talk about, first off, why is this important? Why should you even care? Well, let me use the analogy of beef. In the United States, yes, beef. Being from Texas, it's something I understand. There are three classifications of beef, well, actually there are more, but three common ones. And they're going to be prime, choice, and select. Now, whenever you go to the grocery store and you want a steak, you're looking for either a prime or select. Most places are going to have select. You may be able to find prime at a butcher shop. In any case, when you are looking at different grades of meat, when you're expecting to eat a steak, you know that this is going to cost you more. You're expecting a higher level of quality as defined, as a meat eater. And I apologize to you vegetarians out there, but I'm a meat eater. So what the point I'm getting, though, is that you are conditioned to pay a certain amount for this type of beef. And you assume that it is higher quality, whatever, those standards may be. Now, there's the lower end stuff. I mean, it goes all the way down to canned beef that is only good for canning. So if you're going to look at a can of corned beef or a prime prime steak, you expect there to be a price difference. They both come from the same animal, and there may be the same exact amount, but one of them is positioned itself as this is luxury and this other one is not. The same with menswear. So bespoke is the higher end of the market. This is the art. This is individually handmade. This is the craft that's been passed on from generation, from tailor to tailor to tailor. While made to measure is more in the middle, and ready to wear is where we now are using technology, and you're just producing tons. This is whenever you walk into Walmart, Target, or most off the rack, anything off the rack, and which is already pre-made. That is ready to wear. So, like with the meat analogy, though, neither one is it's not necessarily one is better than the other, because at the end of the day, you could live off of either of those meals. And the same with the clothing. You could wear any of that and probably get by. Now, and there are men actually who it's better to go with ready to wear because they fit the actual model and the exact design. And for those men, this is perfect because they get the best of both worlds. They get a great price and they get something that actually fits them. But for most men, they're not going to exactly fit in the ready to wear or off the rack. So they're going to want to take that to get it altered and adjusted. And depending on how much they need done and depending on how their body is shaped, it may come to a point that this is just not going to work for them. This suit is never going to look as great. And so the options moving up are made to measure. Now, made to measure is different in the sense of you have more control. So that's a key word with custom clothing or ready to wear. Ready to wear, you really don't have much control. You're given something, you've got to work with it. With made to measure, which is more in the middle, you do have some control. It kind of, think of it as Legos in a sense of, you can attach different arms. It can take different bodies. The jacket is broken apart. The designs are already pre-made, and simply based off of your measurements, nowadays they can run it in an algorithm and they can determine, okay, let's throw these pieces together and boom. So it's oftentimes it is a unique piece, but the pattern and everything, it wasn't made exactly for the individual. So you have a lot of control, but not full control. So when we go to bespoke, which technically the word means to be spoken for, all of a sudden we have full control. And with bespoke, it's a matter, an individual pattern is created for the gentleman. I know with my company, we take over 50 measurements. We do make an individual paper pattern for every single individual. And also I consider this part of Bespoke, but I take into consideration the contrast of the hair with the skin. I look at their eye color. I look at their body build. So all of this, basically we have full control. And with that full control, you do oftentimes get better results, although it's not guaranteed, because like I said, there are many men who, made to measure or off the rack would suit them better because they're going to save more money, and it's, it's going to be a very minute difference. And you can get bespoke tailors who call themselves bespoke and are really not that good and can make mistakes. At the end of the day, remember, bespoke is full control, made to measure is partial control, and ready to wear is not really too much control, depending on how good your tailor is. Now, let's talk a little bit more about these terms. And the reason this is a big deal is money. Because like with the meat, you're conditioned, and men throughout the world are conditioned to pay a different amount for each level. So if you are a made-to-measure tailor and you're calling yourself bespoke, in a way, it enables you to charge more. However, the bespoke tailors hate this because, and in fact, over in England, they've gone through a number of, there's been a lot of stuff drawn up with the laws trying to protect the word. Now, this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing, and the precedent was set by France. They protect the word couture over in France. It has to meet certain specifications. They haven't had as much luck over in the UK, but it really, again, comes down to money and trust. So if a tailor's calling himself bespoke, he needs to have full control. And if he's not, and he's calling himself bespoke, then he's kind of misusing the term. If it's made to measure, and a lot of places actually, made to measure, again, is good, but it's the partial control, and the last one, off the rack or ready to wear. So hopefully I didn't confuse you. Hopefully I clarified the situation, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. So if you've got something to add, let me see you down there. And last but not least, don't forget to go to Real Men Real Style and check out my new ebook. Pretty proud about that. I got 14 hours of audio, over 600 pages, and it's pretty darn good. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.